Hi there, this is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video, we're discussing Murder Lo Mein by Vivien Chien. It's the third book in the Noodle Shop Mystery series. It's a cozy mystery series, and I really enjoy this series. It's very unique, in my opinion. I enjoy the setting of the Asia-themed shopping centre. I quite like all the characters in this shopping centre. They work well together. It's almost like a big family unit. All the people in the stores know each other. They're all friends, it seems. And I just love the way the older generations kind of boss around the younger generations as well. It makes for great dynamics in this book. Everything about this whole setting, that whole extended family element going on between the people in these stores, makes for a lot of enjoyment and entertainment in this book. And the whole Asia-themed shopping centre is just so unique. This book centers around a cooking contest. It's called Cleveland's Best Noodle Contest. It makes for fascinating scenes at the start of the novel, but it also then drives forward the whole mystery, and the mystery is a murder. In this contest, Lana's parents' restaurant, where she now manages, so it's a change for Lana in this series. Lana's now managing the restaurant for her parents. The main chef, Peter, of the restaurant Holy, he's taking a part in this contest. There are other people taking part as well. Their biggest rival is from the Chien family. Their restaurant is taking part as well. And Jackie Chien is about the same age as Lana in this book, and she's an awful person. Lana can't stand her, and for good reason, because in this book, every time we see Jackie, she's quite vile. She's very rude, she's very arrogant. She thinks her family's the best. She thinks Lana's family is just dirt that you can walk over. There's a lot to like about Lana and her chef Peter. There's a lot to dislike about Jackie. And that makes for a great dynamic in this book. And she's sort of almost like a soft villain in this book, Jackie Chien. Apart from the cooking contest that's taking place, a new donut shop is opening up right next door to the restaurant. Lana's not happy about that, because Lana can't walk past a donut shop without scoffing down donuts, and she's worried that every day she's going to be picking out on donuts. And she does basically. Every day she's going there and buying donuts, and she ends up being their first customer when they open. Lana's grandmother has also come back from Taiwan to stay. I think stay for a couple of months. Lana's mother Betty is not happy about this because the grandmother is hanging around Betty a lot, and Betty can't get a break. It makes for quite a good comic relief a bit in this book, and Lana sees what's going on between Betty, her mother, and her grandmother, and just sees how it's so much like her mother treats her, and it makes for some great comical moments and great interactions in this book. Lana and Adam's relationship is also getting a bit more advanced, a bit heavier. They're still going out. They still struggle to find time to go out, it seems, as well, as Adam's all on different cases, but it seems to be advancing and they're getting more serious. Lana has a new friend as well, called Rena, and Rena was introduced towards the end, I think, of the previous book, and Rena now owns a makeup store in the shopping centre. So Lana and Rena are quite good friends. They haven't known each other for quite a lot of time, but they're soon becoming really close friends, and it's good to see Lana have another friend other than Megan, who's her best friend and her roommate. So back to the contest, and I like that in this contest the author has introduced a lot of history about the contest as well. We learned that the previous year, there's a lot of rumours going around that the winner from the previous year was bribing the judges. That's interesting history, and it creates a lot of tension between the contestants and the judges because that person who won is now a judge. We also have the history of the judges themselves. The judges don't seem to like each other at all. One of the judges also came from the area originally and moved to Chicago. And there's a lot of tension between that person and other people in the contest and other judges. That's interesting, and that plays out a lot in this book. After the first round of the contest, there's a bit of a party going on in the Bamboo Lounge, which is a karaoke bar. They also have food, and they're also taking part in the contest. One of the judges is found dead in the entertainment area in the Bamboo Lounge. It doesn't take long for body number 2 to show up, and body number 2 is another judge. So we have 3 judges in total in this contest. 2 have been killed off. what's going on. Is the third judge safe? Or is the third judge the suspect, the culprit? Are one of the competitors the culprit? We've got 5 people who started the contest, and there's a lot of bad blood between some of them. And one of the competitors who was kicked out in the first round, he hates one of the judges. One at least we know about. Was he the culprit? Is he a suspect? We don't know what's going on. There's so many suspects, and I love the fact that the history of all these people is brought into the case as well, because that history plays a big part in this case. And I thought the author was very clever in creating this whole contest, bringing people in from outside as well, creating the history of people from this contest as well. That comes into the whole investigation, the whole mystery. There's so many elements playing into this mystery. It was very well done, very well constructed, and there's so many threads to intertwine and to blend together and come to a neat conclusion. The author is very clever in doing that. While I think there's a lot of positive elements in this book series and in this book, there are some things I think they're a bit negative. One of them is Lana's investigation style. So Lana's the main character, and in a cosy mystery, the main character is a person that butts their nose in, tries to solve the crimes that are going on. I find her investigation style a bit aggressive and a bit abrasive, and I wonder, would people really talk to her in real life if she came across like that with them, especially as she's starting to talk to them and almost accuse them of being the culprit. I found that quite strange in this book, and it happens in every book so far I've read in this series, and I wonder if that investigation style puts some people off when they read this. The other negative thing is this book takes place about 2 months after the murder that happens in book 1. So in a very short time period, we've had very big crimes happen that involve the Asia Village Shopping Centre. And I just wonder if that really makes sense. Is this shopping centre really going to have that much crime in such a short time? And that, I think, is a bit off in this series. It doesn't put you off when you're reading it, but it's just in the back of my mind as I'm going through each book in this series. The time frame, I think, should be extended a bit. I don't think these big crimes, these murders, would take place so close together. I think if it did happen like that, there'd be this black cloud hanging over that shopping centre, and business may drop off in that shopping centre if people were aware of all these crimes going on. So I think the author really should have spaced it out a bit more, just to make it seem more real. The third negative, and it's a very small negative, but does annoy me, is that when people get angry in this series, it's always described as their nostrils flaring. There's got to be a different way to describe anger. There's so many characters whose nostrils flare in this book and in this series so far. It happens quite often, probably more than 10 times a book. I haven't gone and counted them, but it just seems to happen very often. I just want a different description, a different way of the author describing anger. I don't need to read about people's nostrils flaring all the time. Every time I read it now, it does tick me off a little bit. Stella is one of the judges brought in for the cooking contest. She's a good character because with her comes her history, and she has history in the local area. She was from the local area to begin with, and she moved away. And we see her history play out with some of the other people from the area, other contestants in the contest, and other judges. And it's very important to this book. It makes the book a bit more mysterious and entertaining and engaging. And she's a very engaging character, and she has a lot of elements to her. And the author was very clever in creating her light and shade, her whole history, and it makes her feel very real. At times she's very confident, at times she's very vulnerable. We even see her at one stage almost fearful. And I found all those different elements to her, all those different emotions in this character, are very well done and make this character seem lifelike. Penny, who's the owner of the Bamboo Lounge, and the Bamboo Lounge is one of the contestants in this contest. She's an interesting character in this book. We learn a lot more about her in the book. She's usually very nice, and when we see her in other books in the series, she comes across as a very nice person all the time, very upbeat, very friendly. In this book, we see a whole different side to her. She becomes very secretive, very angry at times, even at Lana, and she becomes very aggressive. And I found that shift in this character a bit intriguing. Why did that shift so much? You know, it throws suspicion on this character in this book. And that's very interesting because we see her become a suspect. And she's even a suspect in Lana's mind. And I found the author changing this character's personality, changing Penny in this book, very good way to make the author engaged in the character and engaged in the whole mystery, because a sudden shift in someone's personality can mean a lot of things, and we're never too sure what it means for Penny. Is she guilty? Is she just angry? Is she fearful? What's going on with her? Why that sudden shift in her personality? What does it mean? And it's a very big part of this book. I have to mention Vivien Chien, the person who dislikes Lana, but also Lana dislikes her. She's a good element in this book. She's a soft villain. And you need someone like that sometimes in a cozy mystery. Just someone that kind of throws a spanner in the works. Someone that the readers can dislike because our main character dislikes. Because we see Jackie through the main character's eyes. So it's very easy to dislike Vivien Chien. And for good reason, because she's quite rude, quite arrogant. She thinks her family is the best family. They have the best restaurant in the city. So Jackie just lives and breathes arrogance, it seems. And I found that a good character in the book. And I wonder if Vivien Chien will appear in future books in the series. I hope she does, because when she's there, she brings something to the party a bit. Even though we dislike her, well, I do, because our main character does. She just brings an element to the book that's fresh. And we need that sometimes in a cozy mystery series. This book is another solid book in the Noodle Shop Mystery series. I rate it a 4 out of 5. It's not a perfect book. There are things in there that I don't like still. I don't like the whole time frame of the series. This book being only 2 months after the murder in the first book, I think that should have been stretched out a bit, just to make the whole series seem a bit more lifelike. I also don't like that whole nostril flaring thing. It's only a minor thing, but it annoys me now. Every time I read that in the series, every time I read about someone's nostrils flaring, it just annoys me that little bit more. So I'm hoping that changes. I've got a feeling it won't, and I hope it doesn't annoy me to the point where I can't read the series. It's only a very small thing, but it just grows on me. It's annoying me a little bit more every time. As I read through this series, I will put a video up on my channel. If you don't want to miss out on those videos, check out my channel and subscribe. I have a cozy mystery playlist on my channel. It should be on your screen.